Hi guys, welcome to AndroGuider. So in this video, we'll be checking out ViperOS. So this ROM is based on the latest maintenance release of Android, which is Nougat 7.1.2. The ROM also includes the June 5, 2017 security patch, which is the latest security patch. And the build date of the ROM is 15th of June. And single tapping on the security patch level will open up the Android security bulletin. uh, and this is an official build of the ROM for the Redmi Note 3, and as you just saw, the ROM has its own Easter egg as well. Additionally, the ROM also includes an OT updater, so if your device is supported officially and um you want to be notified about whenever a new build is out, then you can configure the OT updater for that. You can configure the frequency of on how frequently should the OT updater check for updates: daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. So whenever a new build is out, you will be notified about the build as per the frequency of the updates of you have set for checking the updates. So again, a couple of useful tweaks in there. Then most of the customizations which the ROM has to offer are present under the Venom menu. So first up, we have the quick settings. So you can enable a custom header image, and we have got two options in the header provider for that: the dynamic and static. So the difference between the two is that dynamic header images are like time contextual headers, and the so time contextual headers change throughout the day. So you will be having a different header image for in the morning, another one in the afternoon, another one in the evening, and so on and so forth. While static header image will remain constant throughout the day. Okay, uh, so we have got a lot of header image packs in here. You know, this is the list of them. Um, well, it's a whole lot of header images to choose from. We'll just check out a couple of them. Um, so this is the camouflage or camouflage, I don't know how you pronounce that. So this is the header image pack for that. Dots, if you want to just check that out. This is the Viper one, and this is the wavy one. So as you can see, we have got a different header image for different times of the day. Okay. Yeah, so a bunch of options in here, and you can check all of them out when you flash the ROM. This is the nature image pack. Yeah, so a lot of options in here. And if you want to set any header image as a static header image, then all you need to go is head over to your to the header image pack of your choice, and then just long press on the header image you want to set as the static one, and there we go, we have got the static header image. Then you can also configure the header image shadow. Then we have got the OmniJaws quick setting tile. So from here in, you can configure the weather settings. You can configure the update interval: 1, 2, 4, or 6, or 12 hours. And you can also configure the weather provider: Open Weather Map or Yahoo. Then you can configure the weather unit: degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. If you want to use a custom location, you can do that, and both the weather providers work fine. And another just make another note here that if you want to use any if you want to if you don't want to use a custom location, and if you want to know the weather of the place you are at, so for that you will have to enable the high accuracy location mode. I'll just go to the settings for that, and uh, just head over to location. Yeah, so we have got three modes in here: high accuracy, battery saving, and device only. So if you select either battery saving or device only, you won't be notified about the weather as per the place you are at. Only if you enable high accuracy location mode, only then OmniJaws um, uh, will be able to uh, make you will be able to notify you about the weather of the place you are at. Otherwise it won't work. Okay. Then you can configure the small number of small quick setting tiles. So these are the small quick setting tiles we are talking about. You can configure their number. Then you can configure the number of the number of rows and columns in the quick settings panel. Then we have got the advanced quick settings easy toggle. So I'll just quick explanation of this feature. So when you click on the Wi-Fi toggle now, it will take you to the advanced layout straight away. This is the advanced layout wherein it shows you the list of Wi-Fi networks you can connect to. And now if you enable this option, it will simply turn off the Wi-Fi with a simple tap. When I turn it back on, it will just turn it back on when I tap on it once again. And now when if you want to go to the advanced layout, you need to long press on the Wi-Fi quick setting toggle. Okay, so if you want to enable this feature, you can do that. Vibrate on touch is also in there. Then you can enable or disable the brightness slider and the brightness icon. And if you want center time and date, you will have to disable either at least one of these options. I prefer to disable all of them if I want to show the date and time in the center. Okay, there we go. In fact, yeah, there it is now. So you can see that the date and time is in the center for both in the notification panel and in the quick settings panel as well. Yeah, and now if you want to enable any icon, you can choose that. But the icons, at least I personally prefer not to have any icons. I don't prefer any icons to be shown when I am using the date and time, when I'm aligning the date and time to be in the center. I don't prefer to have any of these three icons. But again, if you want to have these three icons enabled, you can do that. Then moving on, we have got status bar items next up. So from in here, you can enable or disable any icons which you want to show or hide in the status bar. Headset icon is in there, and auto rotate screen is in there as well. Clock and date settings, you can configure the position of the clock, right, center, or left. Again, just a couple of tweaks which I will mention first up. The reason why I am liking this ROM is that there's an icon beside every option. You go to clock and date, you can see a list of options here. When you go to quick settings, there's a list of options. There is an icon beside each and every customization. So no matter to whichever customization you head over to, there will always be an icon adjacent to it. Now this is something which I haven't found in many rooms out there. And the very fact that there is an icon beside each and every option, that just tells you how much work the ROM developers have put in designing this ROM. And you this actually makes for a better viewing experience, and it nourishes up the whole experience. And as I have mentioned many a times, that there are these small customizations and these small tweaks which the ROM developers do. And these small tweaks just add up in delivering the overall experience that you have with the ROM. So there is this thing, and then I will just be talking about the dark theme as well. That is another great feature of the ROM. Yeah, so then you can also have that AMPM style, normal, small, that's your choice. And then you can also show the date. This is the small font style, this is the normal font style. Then we have got some normal, lowercase and uppercase date fonts styles for the date as well. And then we have got a bunch of date formats to choose from. Yeah, then moving on, you can also configure the location of the carrier label. If you want to have a custom carrier label in, you can do that. You can select that, you can type any text. And then we have got you can also configure the color of the carrier label, and we have got a really nice color picker for that. You can select any color of your choice from this color palette. And then if you want to configure the shade further, you can tap on any region here and select and finalize your shade. You can also select from these preset values, and you can enter a custom hex color code as well. So useful additions in here. And then you can also configure the carrier label size. Battery customizations, you can configure the battery icon style. We have got a bunch of options in here, so I'll just take a quick look at all of them. This is the portrait icon, this is the landscape icon, this is the circle one, this is the big circle one, this is the solid one, this is the gauge one. Again, I haven't seen the gauge one in any ROM out there, so I think this is something which is exclusive to ViperOS. Then if you just want to show the text, that is up to you. Battery percentage, you can show it, hide it inside the icon or next to the icon. And I guess I will just turn off my charger. Okay, and then you can see the battery percentage inside the icon. I'll just turn the charger back on. And for the Redmi Note 3 users out there, if you are seeing the emergency calls only option, there is no problems with the ROM. The signal reception in my area, it's pretty bad. And the ROM is not to be blamed for that. It's currently some work is going on, and the network signal reception in my area is really very bad these days, especially with Airtel. So there is no bug in the ROM at all. The ROM is smooth, everything works fine. uh, there is just a couple of fixes which I'll be talking about in the end of the video. So if you are a Redmi Note 3 user, just stay with me till the end. I will be talking about some fixes right in the end. Then if you want to have a custom battery tile style, uh, to if you want the icon in the quick settings battery icon to be similar to the one shown in the status bar, then you can select this option. Then we have got the enable logo option. You can enable the ViperOS logo. You can tweak its logo as well as the location. Then we have got the traffic indicators. You can enable or disable the outgoing traffic, incoming traffic, or both outgoing and incoming traffic. Then you can tweak the display unit, update interval, auto hide the network arrows when there is no data exchange going on, or you can just hide the arrows. That's your choice. Then miscellaneous tweaks: quick pull down, brightness control, show notification count, double tap to sleep, enable or disable the super user icon, show 4G instead of LTE, show the data disabled icon. So if whether you want that cross sign to be put when you disable the data on the mobile data just above the network signal reception of your carrier, you can just if you want to enable or disable that cross sign when you have disabled the mobile data, you can tweak that. Then show the roaming indicator in call do not disturb mode. Yeah. Then we have got the theme resources. So yeah, my favorite feature of this ROM is the dark mode, and if you have a device with AMOLED screen, you should enable this right away. And in fact, if you want to choose between whether you should which ROM should you use, then you can simply use Viper just for this very customization because of the Viper dark theme. So what this does is, it will do a system UI restart every time you switch between themes. So what this does is it will switch over to this dark layout, and this dark theme is uploaded throughout the quick settings panel. Throughout the quick settings panel, throughout the power menu, notifications, everything has been themed. Of course barring the dialer and the messaging app, but rest of the entire system UI has been themed properly. Again, I have talked about deep theming in my Marshmallow ROM reviews. There are very few ROMs out there who if a ROM has a dark theme, then I haven't seen this feature in many ROMs that theming is done to the core of the ROM. But ViperOS is one of those ROMs out there which have applied the dark theme to the very core. So if you have a device with an AMOLED screen, so you would definitely love to see this Viper dark theme. Okay. Then we have got notification inversion. So notifications will be inverted, used for light slash stock theme. And if you want to have a dynamic notification title color, the title color on notifications will be taken from the app icon color, then you can enable this option. Yeah, so again, as you can currently see, this is AZ screen recorder. It is working in the background. It is what this is what is recording the screen. So you can see that notification color, it's being uh, tweaked as per the uh, colors extracted from the app icon. So this theme, I did have a few problems, not a problems which but certain optimizations which I think should be done. So currently, as you can see, lock screen weather, I will be talking about that later on. But you can't configure the settings, the weather settings, unless and until you enable the lock screen weather option. So this is how currently lock screen weather is being shown. And now when I just head over to the theme resources and switch to the light theme, I will, okay, it does the system UI restart once again. uh, and now when we head over to the lock screen tweaks, there you can see that. So basically that translucency which I am talking about. This just tells you that if you want to configure settings, icon packs, you will have to enable the show weather option. But we couldn't make out that when the Viper dark theme had been applied. So again, I think that just a couple of optimizations to the Viper dark theme will definitely enrich our experience further of using this ROM. But again, as I have mentioned, the Viper OS dark theme, if you have a device with an AMOLED screen, you should definitely go ahead and flash Viper OS right away. Yeah, or you can, in fact, you can also use and the substratum themes out there. There are a lot of bunch of great black themes out there with black backgrounds. Pitch black is there, and so is Flux. I personally love Flux. So you can use any theme of your choice with a black background if you have an AMOLED screen. But if you want some dark theme which is baked directly into the ROM, then Viper Dark it is. You should definitely flash ViperOS. Okay, then we have got the hardware key customizations. You can enable or disable the hardware keys from that master switch. You can configure the backlight timeout. Then if you want to enable or disable the on-screen navigation bar, you can do that. Pixel nav bar animation, that is just applied for the home button, not for the other buttons out there as you just saw. Then if you want to have a dynamic navigation bar color, okay, so we'll just head over to the dialer app, and now you can see that the primary color of the uh, dialer app is applied both to the status bar as well as the navigation bar. So in case you want to have that option of the primary color being applied both in the status bar as well as the navigation bar, then make sure you enable this option. By default, the primary color of the app is applied only to the status bar and not to the navigation bar. Then we have got double tap to sleep on the in the navigation bar. Again, one of those features which I haven't come across in many ROMs. It was there in some Nougat based ROMs initially, but then it was removed. Again, it's great to see this feature. Then show the arrow keys while typing. You can configure the navigation bar buttons. You can configure the placement functions, add more buttons. I had covered this up in great detail in my review of Lineage OS. So in case you want to know more on how to use this navigation bar editor, make sure you check out my Lineage OS review. I'll be having a link to that down below in the description box. And then you can customize the dimensions of the navigation bar. Then you can use the power button to cut the call, and then you've got a bunch of settings for the other hardware keys. You can configure the long press actions of the home button, and these are the options which we have. So one-handed mode is in there, partial screenshot is also in there. uh, then you can simply then you can also configure the double tap action, and we have got similar options for that. Kill app back button is in there, and then you can also configure the short press and the long press action for the recent key. And then volume key settings, wake up device, I don't know what this is for, but I think this is for using the volume up key to accept the call. uh, Maybe this is some kind of bug in the ROM, I don't know. Anyway, then we also have playback control ringtone volume instead of the notification one. And then we have got keyboard cursor control, and then you can reorient the volume keys when the device is rotated. Power menu settings, show the power menu on the secure lock screen. Advanced restart is also in there. Screenshot sound panel. So after you have enabled all the options in the power menu, this is how the power menu looks like. Okay, yeah. Miscellaneous tweaks, we have got the notification. You can enable or disable the heads up notifications. You can configure the timeout, snooze timer, and then we have got the status bar ticker. You can configure its text and icon color. Then we have got okay, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the other settings first. So you can configure from where should the phone ringtones play. So say if you are receiving an if you are getting an incoming call, so from where should the ringtone play? Should it play from the speaker phone, or from both the speaker phone as well as the wired headset? you know or yeah, oh sorry, from sorry, from either of them. Should it play from the speaker phone, or should it play from the wired headset? You can tweak that. Then volume steps, we have got a bunch of options. The maximum volume step is 60, and the minimum number of volume steps is 5. So you can tweak that. Then you have got dashboard options. You can configure the that for the settings menu in both the columns, landscape and portrait. You can tweak all that stuff. Then you can also enable disable the suggestions, conditions, summaries. Then we've got the three finger gesture to take a screenshot. In call vibrations, you can tweak all that. On disconnect, call waiting. Then you can also enable the screenshot sound, warning color of when the battery gets low, the toast icon. So yeah, a bunch of settings in there. Recent screen, you can configure the recent style, cards or grid. This is the card style layout, and if you want to have the grid style layout, okay, it will do a system UI restart. There we go. And well, here it is. Now we have got a grid style layout. Okay, so another some of great bunch of features. Then if you want to have the rounded clear all button, this button shown, then you can enable that. You can choose from the 6 location pack. Immersive recents are in there as well. Full screen status bar only, navigation bar only. You can tweak all that stuff. Then you can, okay, we'll just head over to the card style recents. Okay, so now that enables the lock task option. So basically what this will do is, if you want to lock any app into the memory, then you can simply just tap on this option, and then that app will be locked into the memory, and you just can't swipe it away from the memory. Once you unlock it, then you can swipe it away. Okay, yeah, then you can also show the memory bar, and you can configure the memory bar color and the text color. So a bunch of great options in here. Then we have got the lock screen settings. You can show or enable or disable the weather on the lock screen. We have already configured the service, and then you can choose the icon pack, lock clock, colored one, marshmallow, weasel. So bunch of options. Show the location, hide the weather panel. You can configure the auto custom notifications. uh, then we have got the media cover art, double tap to sleep anywhere on the lock screen, display music visualizer on the lock screen, long press the power button to launch the torch on the lock screen, battery info, quick settings, status bar. If you want to display the status bar on the lock screen, then you can enable or disable the date, clock, alarm, fingerprint authentication, vibration, fingerprint unlock. So bunch of stuff. And the fingerprint unlock is obviously after you reboot your device. you know uh, if your device has a fingerprint scanner, it is obviously meant for unlocking your device. But once you reboot your device, you have to go, and then if you try to unlock your device using a fingerprint after rebooting your device, you will have to go through that additional verification step of entering your pattern lock, or of entering a pattern or a password or your pin, whatever it is. So if you want to just disable that step, just turn this on. Okay, and if you just want to take a look at the lock screen, well, then this is how it looks like. And you can tweak the icon pack as per your choice. We are done with the settings on the, yeah, we are done with miscellaneous tweaks. And then you can view the ROM changelog and its devices and maintainers. Display settings, we have got live display, adaptive brightness, rotation settings, rotate lock screen, 180 degrees rotation, all that stuff is present in here. Sleep timeout, the maximum limit is 30 minutes, and the minimum is 15 seconds. Then ambient display, you can configure that. If you enable ambient display, then you can configure when should ambient display kick in, when you pick up your device, or do hand wave over the proximity sensor, or take out your device from your pocket. Then you can also customize the display settings for ambient display, and there are a bunch of options in here. You can tweak all those as per your convenience. Then wake on plug, double tap to wake anywhere on the screen. And uh, just a note for the Redmi Note 3 users that this option will only work if your device natively supports double tap to wake. That is, if you have something like a OnePlus 1, or maybe a OnePlus device which supports double tap to wake, and if your device, when you brought your device and it supported double tap to wake out of the box, only then this feature would be applicable for your device. But in case of Redmi Note 3, you will have to flash a custom kernel to get this kind of feature, maybe Redon, or you can consider the Agni kernel. So a lot of custom kernels do have this option of double tap to wake, but this option won't work for you on ViperOS, on the stock kernel. Then prevent accidental wake ups, expanded desktop font size. And talking about custom kernels, you will have to use a custom kernel with the ROM. I will be talking about that right in the end of the video. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I guess we are pretty much done with the. Then we have got prevent accidental wake up and all that. Okay. Yeah, then we have got the sound settings. You can configure ringtones, launch music player when the headsets are connected, other sounds. So these are the options which we have in here. Battery, you can we have got some bunch of profiles just like in Lineage OS. You can we have the extreme power saver, automatic power saver, and then you can configure the percentage at which the power saver should be implemented automatically, 5, 15, or 25. Then we also have automatic optimization, and you can tweak all that stuff. Then we have got gestures, jump to camera, vibrate on double tap, all that. And additionally, this is something which I have mentioned in all my Nougat ROM reviews. Make sure you fill up this emergency information section. So god forbid if you ever run into any mishap, and or if something happens to you, again god forbid that, then if someone tries to access if someone tries to contact your loved ones, then they can do so by viewing this emergency information. And this emergency information can even be this can be seen even on a secured lock screen. So just make sure that you fill up this information, and you add contacts of your loved ones as well, so that they can be notified, again god forbid if anything ever happens to you. um yeah then security settings, we have got you can choose the grid size for the pattern lock: 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 6 by 6. And uh, under the okay, then you can configure the lock screen shortcuts and the lock screen message. Okay, unknown sources is not checked in by default, so just check in unknown sources if you plan to sideload any apps. um, Privacy settings, privacy guard and protected apps are in there. I will be having a link down below in the description box for a tutorial on privacy guard and how you can use it as a tool to combat malicious apps, and also on how you can use privacy guard as a tool to save up on your battery life. So just check that if you want to. System profiles are in there as well. I had covered these up in detail in my Lineage OS review. I will be having a link down below in the description box for the Lineage OS review as well. So check that out if you want to. And now just I'll let you guys have a look at the quick setting tiles. So these are the quick setting tiles which are enabled by default, and these are the ones which you can add on. So quick setting tile for the weather panel is present in here as well if you want to view the weather. Yeah, so that's all what we have in here. And then the inbuilt apps we have got the Snapdragon camera. Yep, and everything works fine. Calendar app we have got, I think, yeah. And then the inbuilt browser, uh, again if you just want to have a quick look at the features which it has, uh, switch to desktop side, add shortcuts, history, favorites, share, incognito tab, reload, basic stuff. We'll just quickly take a look at the settings. You can tweak the search engine. You know, well, if you are aware of the Jelly browser, then we don't have to do everything. We don't have to take a look at every setting. But anyway, uh, then if you want to have a shared preview of the shared web page, you can do that. Look lock, enable or disable JavaScript, location, cookies, clear cookies. Now if you when ViperOS will be updated, or maybe in one of the next build, we will be having an updated version of Jelly browser, and that has got far more tweaks included, including an inbuilt ad blocker. So when ViperOS gets updated, you will be having a lot many more features in the stock browser. Yeah, and then we've got this clock application, basic stuff. And if you want to check out the settings, uh, some of you had requested me to give you guys a look into what the clock settings have to offer. So well, this is for those of you who wanted to see what is under the clock settings in each and every ROM out there. Basically the clock application is it's the same across all the ROMs out there. So there's not much difference. I mean, yeah. So well, see the time with settings, automatic home clock. You can also configure the snooze timeout for the alarms, the silence after timeout, alarm volume, gradually increasing volume buttons. Okay, so a bunch of options in here, and then you can also customize the audio output using by configuring this equalizer. Then we have got an inbuilt gallery. Google Wallpapers is in there by default. Gallery, if you just want to check this out, you can, this is the gallery which you have seen in Lineage OS. You can view your photos as per the timeline, albums, videos. You can sort everything as per your choice. And if you just want to uh, check out the inbuilt editor, this is the inbuilt editor which you have. You can configure the filters, add frames, crop the image, straighten it, rotate it, configure the exposure values. That's all what we have in here. And then you can also set the picture as view its details and all that stuff. Yeah, so I guess we are pretty much done with this ROM review. Settings, if you want to check that out. Widgets, these are the ones which we have. You can also include a widget for if you want to view the weather forecast. And I will also include quickly want to show you guys the weather quick setting tile. Okay, now when you just simply tap on this weather, you will be able to view the advanced load, and you can also refresh the weather from in here. Okay, yeah. So for those of you who are on the Redmi Note 3, if you're not a Redmi Note 3 user, you can leave right away. We are done with the ROM review. So if you're a Redmi Note 3 user, the only bug with the ROM was that as I have told you, there is no problem in the ROM at all. There's some really very bad network signal problem in the locality where I live in. So just ignore this emergency calls only bug. It is not for you guys. There is no bug in the ROM, but I think there is some bug in the device tree, because when I tried to boot up the ROM, when I clean flashed the ROM did not boot up on the stock kernel, and I had to flash a custom kernel. I'm currently using the Franco's kernel, so I could get the ROM to boot up only after I flashed Franco's kernel. And this problem is same throughout all the Nougat based ROMs out there, whether it is Resurrection Remix, AICP, and no matter which ROM you use, Nitrogen OS. I tried that yesterday and it didn't boot up. Okay, so if you want the ROM to boot up, you will have to flash a custom kernel. And I have also, apart from that, there wasn't any bug which I do remember specifically. So just to address all these bugs, I have made a special video for the Redmi Note 3 users out there on the various problems which you might be facing on when you flash a Nougat based ROM on your Redmi Note 3. So if you are a Redmi Note 3 user, just make sure that you check out that video where I have explained in detail on what these bugs are all about and on how you can fix them. So just in case if you want to know more, check out that video. I will have a link down below in the description box for that. Yeah, so this concludes this video. So in case you like the video, hit that thumbs up button, and in case you want to get a notification whenever we upload our future videos through this channel, then do subscribe to us as well. So thanks for watching guys. Have a nice day, take care, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.